Namaste. Welcome to another Bali cast. The subject for today is the aspects, the facets of spirit that comprise our soul. And that's also reflective of the nature of God. But the thing is, God requires some kind of belief more than our own spirit, which we can experience within ourselves. And so whether you're spiritual or religious or whatever, this knowing yourself is something you're faced with, and it's worth looking at. So let's talk about it in a way that that illuminates our awareness of what we are. It's a deep and subtle subject, so if you're just kind of scrolling through, maybe save it and come back at a time when you could be centered and listen in a deep way. So in the mystics of ancient India tried to describe God and consequently our soul as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda, you might have heard the word. And it's all a unified spirit, but it's characterized by existence. Obviously it is. Consciousness, which is Chit, awareness, consciousness, it's an easy word to use, consciousness, but sometimes we think of consciousness as something we have, we use. No, we are consciousness. Consciousness is the thing that illuminates our whole experience, whether our eyes are closed or not. We can't, as conscious, we're immersed in consciousness. It's so close to us, it's really hard to understand it. We recognize consciousness by what consciousness sees and what consciousness experiences. That's a little different than what consciousness is. Meditate on it a little. It's deep. And then, and Yananda means bliss, as it's translated, but bliss also gets a little bit shallowly understood. Bliss, he's happy. Of course God is happy. God does everything. He's fulfilled. Of course God is aware. But I want to suggest it's more like consciousness is this power of awareness. Bliss is the power of feeling, of feeling. It's the feeling aspect. It's one thing to be aware of something, and it's another thing to feel a thing. And it's also responsive. So what consciousness brings to awareness, there's a response, a feeling experience of it. And so these two aspects, consciousness and bliss, have been characterized as masculine and feminine polarities of spirit, quite equal. And in the Tantra they say that Shiva without Shakti is Shava. And Shiva is the masculine form of God in India. Shakti is the feminine. And Shava means corpse. So you just have to change one letter of Shiva, which is taking the I out, which is signifying the Shakti. You have a corpse, this awareness without an experience, a feeling of that experience. It's dry, it's empty. So both create this complete experience of our deepest essence. And it's worth contemplating that a little bit, because, like I said, it starts out, the spirit, it's unthinkable, unexpressible, it's all these things unified, but as it becomes life, this life we're leading in a world with people and experiences and everything else, these polarities become less unified. They interact with each other. They combine to make the form. So it's said that this male Shiva energy is the background, the consciousness that is the foundation of the world. But the Shakti is all the energy, all the form, all this creation is made by the Shakti, receiving the conscious, taking consciousness into form. Now sometimes, because this is a particularly dense and painful reality for many, this aspect of the Shakti has been considered to be Maya, illusion, because the world really isn't as we see it. Science says we're 98% or more space, and the cosmic rays pass right through our body, but everything seems to be solid, just like when you're dreaming. You seem to be solid in your dream. But saying it's just an illusion is just an illusion, because this is what spirit does. Spirit exists and it dreams the world into existence, and that's not just a gist. It's a very serious, all that God does. And so, and as we're immersed in that experience, it's good to remember that it's not the mechanical, random thing that it appears to be. It can be quite fluid and magical, but it counts as its own level. So not just an illusion. It's it's an illusory game. And so anyway, think about this power of feeling, the feminine. Feeling has, in this dense reality, where we have separation, we have our needs and desires, feeling is a vulnerable space, right? Fear comes from feeling, and grief is a feeling, and love is a feeling. And in fact, this bliss, the highest cosmic feeling, when it has an object, when there's other people or people in general or the beauty of nature, when Ananda, bliss, has an object, it becomes love. This is why love is our essence. Love is inseparable from what we are. Once it filters out into our human existence, it gets more complicated, because we have needs, and our ego is very fragile, and we have pain in our bodies and emotions. So feeling becomes threatening, and has been, especially when you're back in olden days where there was wars and horrible things could happen. Like, people were threatened by feeling, and this is reflected by some of the fear of the feminine and the oppression of women. Like, I need love so badly that if I'm not getting it, I'm going to really suffer. The mother's love, a lover's love. Everybody knows, like, some of the deepest pain you can experience is in heartbreak. So it creates a secondary fear of the feminine and the need to control the feminine. And we're working through that on this planet right now. I hope it's getting better. As a representative of the masculine, I pray for, like, the evolution of the empowerment and freedom of the feminine, because I love it within myself. I love it outside myself. And why should life be dry? We should be able to experience the love that is our essence. Nobody can take it away from us. But we cut ourselves off from it because of these fears. So, to backtrack a little, meditate a little on the source of yourself. Not paying so much attention to the objects, all the things you see, and think about, like, when you just wake up in the morning, when you meditate, when you're just being, what's this light of awareness that gives us reality, that makes us experience the world, that we are that consciousness, and this feeling that there's a sea of feeling that we're responding to everything in our minds and our experience, and just the fulfillment of our own peace and being within. Sink into it, be it. Move into being present with it instead of the thoughts that like run around in our head. Give that a break. Move away. And know that you are love, and nobody can take that from you. So don't be afraid to feel, and purify your feelings so that it's responding to what's in the moment and who's in the moment, and not pent up memories that trigger fear, that's like road rage. It's not exactly about the cars, it's about all these things we hold within ourselves and finally flows out when it's triggered. Work on those, like your emotional nature, to work through your shadow so that you can have pure feeling, and calm your mind through mindfulness and meditation so that your awareness can be also like in the present and have clarity. And I think that spirit or no spirit, God or no God, that getting centered in yourself and knowing yourself is going to be a huge blessing. It's part of the meaning of life. It's part of, we're experiencing ourselves in this life, and it's a little bit of a waste if you're just riding along with it and not knowing like what it arises from, what are we doing here, this is some of the deepest things that are within us, and we're so immersed in it that sometimes we don't give it, enough thought, enough awareness, enough meditation, enough feeling. So this video is a wake-up call to do that. Yeah, so wish you peace and love.